Okay, so before this video starts, I want to say that while this keyboard was sent to me for review, all opinions are my own and I will give my most honest review possible. Also, before I start, this keyboard is only modded for your preferences. It is not a company and is only one guy that makes this. They don't manufacture the keyboard, they only mod it and send it out to you. Lastly, they only ship to US and Canada, so sorry for all of my international viewers. Anyway, back to the video. So in the box I got a note, the normal user manual, some weird informational packet that I was too lazy to read, and the keyboard itself. The default keyboard comes with some stock cheap ABS keycaps that aren't that good, but you do have the option of adding keycaps of your choosing to the keyboard for an additional $5. I'll be going over the order form near the end of the video so you can keep watching or skip to the timestamps below. In the top part of the box you get a rubberized cable, a pretty long keycap puller, and lastly a switch puller with an additional switch in case you break one. Like all the other switches on the keyboard, this one is lubed and filmed. So now onto the specifications. Pricing varies based on what you order, so I can't really give you a solid price tag, but the price starts as low as $100 if you get a 60 or 65% and go with the stock stabs and mounting style. The 60% aluminum keyboard that I have weighs in around 1,000 grams, which is decently heavy, especially considering the price tag. Do note that the weight may vary slightly depending on how it was made. Both the tactile and linear switches have an actuation force of 45 grams. They actuate at 2 millimeters and bottom out at 4. So, how were my experiences using the keyboard for the last month? Let me just start out by saying it's pretty amazing. The tactile switches inside the keyboard that I was sent was fairly smooth, but also had a nice tactile bump. The keyboard is heavy, which I like a lot since it makes it feel much higher in quality and allows it to stay on my desk better. This is mostly due to the weights inside of the keyboard and the aluminum plate. The beaded finish for the aluminum case is nice. It's kind of a generic finish for a keyboard, but I've had no problems with it so far. The case for the aluminum is kind of thin, but the plastic case should be thicker. The switch for the Bluetooth is on the back, and although it can connect to up to 5 devices, I've had no need for it and haven't used it. But I've tested it and it works flawlessly. The battery is pretty big and can last around a week from what I've heard. The RGB is very bright with nice color options and designs, which I like. They both have a separate command for each, which means that you can use any design with any color, which I love. The function row is intuitive, except for the scroll lock, page up, page down, home, and delete, etc. But it is pretty easy to apply some sub-legends to the front of the keycaps. I put them on the keyboard so you can see the sub-legends during the typing test. If I get enough requests, I'll make a tutorial on how to make and apply them. The stem wobble on the switches is mediocre, which is what you would expect from a Gateron switch. The stock springs are pretty pingy, so I would recommend swapping those out for your preferred weight on the order form, which I'll be going over later. Another downside are the stock stabilizers. If you decide to go with the stock stabilizers instead of switching them out for the Dirac ones, which I highly recommend, they might feel mushier since they had to add more grease to the stabilizer to compensate for the ticking you would normally get if the stabilizer was factory lubed. So for a recap, the pros are a cheap cost for a custom fully modded keyboard, a great switch lubing job, not too much and not too little lube. Also, the lube was evenly applied when I opened up the switches. Everything was tested before shipped, Bluetooth, RGB, USB, switches, so you don't have to worry about anything broken. You don't have to pay until the keyboard is fully built and ready to be shipped. The keyboard is heavy and sturdy. The Bluetooth can connect to up to 5 devices if you get the aluminum case. And now for the cons. Switches are pingy, but the springs can be swapped on the form. The stock stabs are a little mushy, but they can also be swapped for Dirac stabs. You do have to wait around 2 weeks between putting in the order and paying or having the keyboard shipped out. And the last con is that some of the function keys can be hard to memorize. I'm going to finish the rest of my games, and then I will be going over the order form and the typing test, so you can skip to those in the timestamp below. So here is the order form. You put your email here and you choose your switch type. My preferred switch type is linear, so I chose that. Springs, I would recommend 45. A spring swap, but my preferred weight is 60 grams of force. Switch films don't really make a difference too much, but if you really want to get the most out of your keyboard, I would select yes. Otherwise, I would go with no. I don't really care, so I would go with no because it saves $10. Layout, my preferred layout is 60% in a white plastic case, since it gives a deeper sound than an aluminum case. Stabilizers, I would have Durock plate mount. Mounting style, I prefer the O-ring mount, since it gives an even sound, but I don't like the flex that the spring mount gives. Keycaps, you can paste a link, preferably Amazon, I think they said. And that's pretty much it. After that, you can just submit, copy, and submit. Complete the CAPTCHA. And after you're done, make sure you check your email because you will get a confirmation email. After that, you're done. Answer any questions that you may have, that you may get from the email. Make sure you live in the US, and that's pretty much it.